Alright, what's going on everybody? Anime Ramble back with another episode. Today we'll be discussing Kaiju number 8, chapter 72. What is going on? Well, if you remember where we left off from the last chapter, in the chapter before last, Kaiju number 9 had finally made his move. He started attacking all of Japan. He has spread his forces wide, and because of this, he has essentially hemmed up all of the defense force branches. And I remember a couple chapters ago, actually more than a couple chapters ago, I was like, we don't actually know how many branches of the defense force there actually are. Well, the first page on chapter 72, we get a breakdown for that, where the defense forces are, how they're stationed, and essentially how many there are in total, right? There are 16 different defense forces spread out all throughout Japan. And currently, to the best of our knowledge from the last chapter, every single one of them is under Kaiju threat of Kaiju number 9's army. So this is going to be interesting to see how they decide to handle it. Very last chapter, Narumi was on the scene. He was handling all of the situations that was going down, and he said to deploy basically their secret weapon, which is Kikoru in this situation. She has the numbered weapon 4 suit, the same suit that her mother Hikari wielded. She blitzes the battlefield in the exact fashion that you expect for her to do. She has not missed a beat. If anything, she has become stronger because she's finally got a replacement for that axe that she broke way back when she had to fight Kaiju number 9. Actually before she fought Kaiju number 9, because she never actually got the opportunity to fight Kaiju number 9 due to the fact that her axe was already broken during the ant-attack that superseded number 9 attacking Isayo during that day. So this chapter, they boot up the electromagnetic whole rocket shit that they use to, jumpstart the launch process for their numbered weapon users. It's interesting to say the least, but she's about to be on the scene. All right, she gets there and she immediately starts lobbing Kaiju heads. She defeats 3. Narumi gives her that time task to say, hey, you have 10 minutes to deal with all of this. And you remember way back when they were first introduced to each other that Narumi doesn't really care about your legacy. He doesn't care who you are. The only thing that he cares about is results. He said that to Kikoru. He also gave the exact same speech to Kafka. He still gave the exact same thing. I don't care who you are, what you are, anything about your past. The only thing I care about is results. That is Kikoru's mission moving forward. Now, we do get a lot of development this chapter, not just with Kikoru getting the numbered weapon 4 suit, but we also get Vice Captain Hoshino popping up at the very end of this chapter. One page, one big ass panel. He's in numbered weapon 10 suit. Finally get to see what we have been waiting for this entire time. I've speculated on the abilities of numbered weapon 10 and what Hoshino might be able to do just based off of what we saw Kaiju 10 do during that whole fight. He might be able to increase the size of his weapons. He might be able to increase the size of his body, matter manipulation altogether, or he has a lot of things at his disposal. His tail might come into play. There is a lot of things that we could speculate on that. We get to see Captain Mina pop up as well. She's already on the scene. Vice Captain, he's still waiting for his suit to be configured to his biometrics and everything like that, but by the very end of this chapter, he's all ready and set to go. So I'm sure he's going to be loading into the whole electromagnetic cannon and jettisoning over to where Hikari, Narumi, and all of them are. We still don't see Reno, we still don't see Kafka, but you know that they're going to pop up in the very near future, probably next chapter. But the last little bit I want to save for this video might be a little bit of a longer section, but there's a lot of speculation we can get from this, because while we're not just getting development on Vice Captain Hoshino's part, Narumi's part, Mina's part, we still haven't seen Mina's numbered weapon ability yet, but you know she has to be coming. There is absolutely no way you're going to get me to believe that the Vice Captain has a numbered weapon, but Captain Mina does not have one at her disposal. There may be a lot of drawbacks to hers, because if I'm not mistaken, she'll be the first long-range Kaiju weapon numbered suit user that we have been introduced to. There might be a lot of kickback to her weapon, a lot of drawbacks, because she's already outputting so much power and damage from the cannon that she wields. I can only imagine what type of level and what type of fortitude she would be able to showcase if she got the clearance in order to display her numbered weapon suit. This is kind of like a Bleach situation. Not all of the captains were greenlit to just use their Bankai all willy-nilly. If it was a situation of their Bankai creating too much damage to the surrounding area, or if it was a Bankai that would damage the other court guard members or the other soldiers members, they weren't permitted to use it unless they were by themselves. This might be a similar situation that we have going on with Mina, but I'm still very excited to see what she has in the near future. What I wanted to really dive into, and I want your opinion on this, is that we get a lot of development on Hikari's part through Kikoru, right? Kikoru has that character development where she is the child of people with so much notoriety that it kind of overshadows her as an individual, right? She grew up the daughter of Isayo, she grew up the daughter of Hikari, and because of that, who she is as a person might have been overshadowed. So when you hear the new Director General talking about her, how she's always possessed the strength of her father Isayo, and now she possesses the mobility of her mother Hikari. And that comes at the blessing of the numbered weapon 4 suit, the suit that has the fastest speed of any numbered weapon suit that the Defense Force has access to currently. This is what allowed Hikari to bolster the numbers of slain kaiju throughout all of the Defense Force. She holds that record. Now, it doesn't specify if it's a Honju or a Yoju. It doesn't tell us how many Daikaiju she's slain. All it says is that she has the highest kill count amongst any Defense Force member, so eventually have to add all of those together. But that's kind of important, right? Because the difference between a Honju and a Yonju is their size and their fortitude level. So if she just took out a bunch of Yonju, well, I mean, is she really doing that much? Like, I'm not trying to shit on her legacy. You just have to, you have to factor that in. Hoshina, in theory, would technically have a higher kill count than Mina, because Hoshina deals with miniature kaiju. There's a lot more miniature kaiju out there than there are large scale, extra large kaiju, so that does play a factor. Because the new Director General, you'll have to forgive me, I'm forgetting his name, but the new Director General makes the distinction, saying that Kikoru has always had the strength of Isayo, who is a very hard hitter. I mean, he went toe-to-toe with Kafka and almost actually killed him, being as old and as weak as Isayo was. I mean, it was stated that, he does not hit as hard as he did back in the day. So Kikoru has always had that strength. Now she has Hikari's speed on top of that, and you have to factor in her weapon, because Hikari, as fast as she was, her and Kikoru do not use the same weapon, alright? Hikari used more of a pole arm type of weapon. A pole arm isn't necessarily known for power. It never is. It's known for its speed and it's known for its reach, okay? Kikoru uses an axe. An axe is 1000% used for power. On top of that, Kikoru's axe isn't just like a normal axe. The ability that her axe has, which is important to remember, her first axe that she used before it broke had the ability to increase its speed, which increased its force of impact and its cutting potential. The new axe that she has now also has that ability, but you have to remember that this new axe is also fitted with numbered weapon 4 in mind. Same thing with Narumi and his bayonet. It was a regular bayonet. Once he got greenlit to have the entire numbered weapon 1 suit, then his bayonet also got upgraded, and we saw last chapter that his bayonet has those eyes on it, potentially increasing his range of view, making him even more of a threat. But this axe that Kikoru wields, plus the numbered weapon 4 suit, gives her a higher ceiling to potentially reach than what Hikari had, due to the fact that she had a polearm. We're not talking about it, at least I haven't seen any videos of anybody talking about it. For as amazing as Hikari was, we're not addressing the elephant in the room with the fact that she died. Okay, she was killed by a Daikaiju. We don't know the exact circumstances that surrounded it. We just know that she lost her life during the Cataclysm of Numbered Weapon 6, or the Cataclysm of Daikaiju 6, okay? Ironically enough, we know the actual ability of Daikaiju 6, right? Because Reno is now the numbered weapon suit user for Daikaiju number 6. We know that that weapon, or that Daikaiju, had the ability of ice, okay? Maybe not just ice, there might have been some snow involved, maybe it had the ability to summon blizzards. That's going to be critical moving forward, because we need to know the limitations of Kikoru, and we also need to know the hard counters of Daikaiju number 4. Hikari was not able to take out number 6. Was that because it summoned this massive blizzard that impeded its mobility, right? I mean, you have Hikari zipping around, you have Kikoru zipping around using the wings of numbered weapon 4. If you're able to summon a blizzard and throw it off, you're not going to be able to fly straight. You're not going to be as effective. What was it that actually took Hikari out? We need to know, because that's going to be important for Kikoru to know the limitations, to know what to look out for. Now, Reno is far in between. Numbered weapon 6 is already subdued. It's just going to be important that the weaknesses of Hikari, and I mean this with respect, the weaknesses of Hikari are what led to the downfall, which inevitably led to her death. Something happened. And number 6 is clearly a counter to number 4. It is what it is. I'm not here to make too many judgments about it. She might have died sacrificing herself. Regardless of not, for the person with the highest kill count to go down to an ice user, what is the actual ability outside of just mobility? Because we didn't actually see Kikoru use, I guess, a named attack. Like we've seen Reno in number 6 in their joint ice attack. We've seen Narumi in number 1 with their joint vision attack in those energy orbs last chapter. We've seen number 2 in Isayo with the whole electricity buff that he has. He's not just out there swinging his arms and his gauntlets and stuff like that. There's an ability that number 4 comes with other than mobility and fast mobility, something to hit hard. Hikari would have had to have hit hard with whatever it is that hidden ability is that we have yet to see for number 4. So I'm interested to see what that's going to be like in the future. Like I said, there are 16 divisions of the Defense Force. All of them are spread out. All of them are engaged. Nobody can help each other. So next chapter, I would imagine that this whole situation at the airport with Mina, Narumi, Kikoru, and Hoshina finally getting on scene. I see when Hoshina gets on scene, all of this is going to be wrapped up and done. And then hopefully from there, we move on to potentially the 4th division with Reno and Iharu, potentially Kafka as well in the 4th division. Who knows? But I think I've rambled on long enough. If you made it to the end, thank you. If you're new, go post, search, and smash that subscribe button. Lets me know you rock with the content that I put out on the channel. Like the video if you like the video, dislike the video if you dislike the video. Comment on the video your thoughts about what you think is going on, how you think this is all going to unfold, and what you think the actual ability of Hikaru and the numbered weapon force suit is, and what is it that she's going to be able to do. Because, I mean, it can't just be mobility, right? Unless it's like advanced forms of mobility, right? She is very fast. You see her drawn very well. Matsumoto shows her breaking the sound barrier. That's at least Mach 1, Mach 2. Extremely fast. Does she have like advanced forms of mobility? I'm talking about like warping. I'm talking about like portals, teleportation, void creation, phasing. What else can this suit do outside of just that? Even numbered weapon suits that don't technically have an all-out offensive ability, like what we see with Narumi and his all-seeing eyes that he has with numbered weapon 1, he still has offensive abilities in his pocket that we saw with those orbs that he used last chapter to eviscerate the kaijus that had popped up at the wedding. So leave that down in the comment section. I will keep the content coming frequent as humanly possible, and I'm out.